top 10 blockchain gaming projects with real world integration. Blockchain gaming market to be worth $165.4 billion by 2030. And lastly, crypto regulations uncertainty boosts blockchain gaming in Web3. The timestamps down below for all the articles that you're interested in. And also, if you guys want to hit me up for any businesses, make sure to email me at realyukin@gmail.com. Welcome, beautiful people around the world. I hope you're having a fantastic day. My name is Yukin. I hope you're loving yourself as much as I love you all. I really hope so, because today, ladies and gentlemen, I'm excited, man. Talking about some more crypto stuff, blockchain gaming, the space that I like to talk about and I love to just kind of give more information about, because again, doing research and stuff like that is the stuff that I like to do. And I hope that you guys are learning some new stuff about some new games and new projects, or even just the uncertainty about blockchain gaming, if it's thriving, if it's not, all that stuff like that. Hopefully I can give you guys as much information as possible, and, keep giving you guys this stuff on somewhat of a daily basis, because again, the news right now is a little bit kind of dull. So, finding these news is a little bit harder to find out, trying to figure out whether the more popular topics would be more interested in. But if there hasn't been an opportunity for any other games out there that I have not mentioned at all, please let me know in the comments below, because I would love to know and to research more about certain projects that I don't really know or haven't talked about much. So again, I would love to dive into some of those games or projects or anything like that are building in the space. But again, let's jump into the first article. All right, so the top 10 blockchain gaming projects with real world integration. So this is gonna be interesting to seeing what they're kind of implementing on the real world integrations, because again, if you make a company, you're essentially making more jobs, essentially like that. So kind of curious on what the real world integrations are going to be. But it says the importance of blockchain gaming company for the economy. Obviously, all this stuff is kind of, basic, but we'll just go over it. So obviously, number one, economic empowerment. Allows players to truly own their in-game assets, new revenue streams, so allowing more people to make more money, job creations for all the people that are interested that are working around the companies that obviously make them, digital asset economies, for the valuations of how expensive or how valuable these NFTs are going to be in the real world, global access and financial inclusion as well. Around banking systems, credit cards, and also with specific regions of like demographics and everything like that, innovations and technologies and advancements. So again, it's pretty much just kind of like a normal business essentially, but more online, obviously around the crypto space. So it's pretty interesting. But here are the top 10 gaming projects with the real world integrations. So starting off with number one, we have Axie Infinity. I think we've all heard about this. If you don't know anything about Axie Infinity, it's a Pokemon inspired game where players collect, breed, and battle digital creatures called Axies. So they're NFTs. You buy them, you battle, and pretty much that's pretty much it. And you can sell them at a pretty decent price for the most part. They're pretty cheap right now, but still, it's one of those things that you kind of have to really work hard into it, and you have to breed these Axies, eventually, and then you can sell them to make more money off it. So the Sandbox, number two. I really like the Sandbox, so I think Sandbox is going to do a really good job. Just like Decentraland, one of those two projects, or even there's another one as well that I'm looking down there as well. One of those two projects are going to really thrive into having a lot of creations into their games, and it's going to be interesting to see what they're really going to be utilizing, especially in the real world. Obviously, the real world of the businesses are going to come in and try to integrate their brands or anything like that to be a part of the Sandbox or Decentraland and stuff like that. So again, having those stuff is going to be really interesting. I'm really excited to see what they do in the future. Gods Unchained, I've heard about it, never played it. I know it's a trading card game that uses Immutable X blockchain. It's a layer 2 scaling, but again, it's a card game. So if you're really loving card games, be really interesting to play. But other than that, that's all I know pretty much about it. CryptoKitties, again, a game that I've heard but never played as well. It was one of the first blockchain games to gain widespread popularity. In CryptoKitties, players collect, breed, and trade digital cats. Each cat is an NFT. So kind of, it seems very similar to most games out there. You have an NFT as a cat and everything like that. You breed it, stuff like that. So very much, it's similar to Axie Infinity, but does not have... for what I'm looking at, it doesn't look like it has the aspects of the fighting of it. But yeah, you get what I'm talking about. Rev Racing a game that I've never heard of. I've never heard the name either. So let's read it. It's a blockchain-based racing game that allows players to own, race, and trade virtual cars. The game is built on the Rev token, which is used to purchase in-game items and enter races. Rev Racing is one of the first blockchain games to offer high-quality graphics and gameplay. So very interesting. I'm excited to see how they're going to make this game. Again, how I say it to every other company out there. Really hope that you focus on the game rather than just the NFTs of it as well. But make sure the game is obviously playable and fun as well. So Rare, I do apologize if I say that wrong. It's a fantasy football game that uses blockchain technology, and so Rare players collect digital cards and real life football players. Okay, so it is relatively around the football aspect of it. So these cards are NFTs, which means they're unique and it cannot be replaced. Players can use their cards to enter fantasy football tournaments and earn rewards. So that's gonna be really interesting because a lot of players obviously being cycled through through the league. So you're definitely gonna get more people, better cards, better stuff out there. So it's gonna be really interesting to see how this is gonna be played out. I would love to play it. That would be really interesting. But that's really interesting. Alien Worlds. I've heard of Alien Worlds, never played it, but it's a blockchain mining game that allows players to mine Trillium, TLM. The game's native currency, TLM, can be used to purchase in-game items, enter competitions, and stake on planets. Alien Worlds is one of the more popular games with over 2 million registered players. So again, a mining game. I'm not really into mining games, to be honest, but if I had the opportunity to, I would probably play it. If I had, like I said, if I really wanted to play it and I really had nothing else to play, I'd probably play that game. But I'm not really into mining games, so that game probably would not be the best for me. But if it's for you guys, definitely check it out. Upland. I want to say I think I heard about this game. I think it's the one with like the camel on it or something like that. That's the main picture. But it's a blockchain game, a geolocational game that allows players to buy, sell, and trade virtual properties. This game uses EOS blockchain to store land ownership and in-game assets. I think this game had some issues early on. I think currently it's still having issues. I don't know. So I would definitely hold off onto that until they figured something out on that. I feel like 5-6 months ago when I actually was doing researching, and I think this game popped up as something kind of like scammy, but I don't want to say that it is. Obviously do your research into it, but they're saying this is going to be a really popular game, especially with the geolocation, which is pretty interesting. So we'll see how that goes. But again, do your research. I don't know if they are scammy or not, but still, it's something that you have to worry about. Just with any other game out there, if it's going to be a scam or not. But anyway, F1 Delta Time is a blockchain racing game that allows players to own, race, and trade virtual Formula One cars. Oh, interesting. Oh, yeah, F1. That makes sense. The game is built on the Ethereum blockchain and uses Rev token. So, wow. So Rev token seems to be part of a lot of these racing stuff. So Rev actually might be a really fun and interesting token to accumulate if you're going to actually accumulate it. So interesting. That's going to be interesting. I'm excited to see these racing games and how they're going to actually be performed and actually be made. So I'm actually really interested. So let's jump over to the next article. I think it's a two-part because this was kind of like into the same article. I guess they were kind of quoting on the same one. So we'll kind of jump back and forth. But it says blockchain gaming market to be worth $165.4 billion by 2030. So this article pretty much kind of states like all the stuff that what it could be essentially. It can be worth 165 billion. It cannot be too. It just depends. But they're kind of pricing it out just because of how innovative it is and how it can be the monetizable aspects of it. It provides a lot of safety and transparency, which a lot of people really like, especially in the space. Creating new income streams for sport builders and gamers and stuff like that. So I gives a lot of opportunities if done right, that it could really, shoot to the sky, shoot to the stars, right? $165 billion, capital space, just in the space itself. So it's really interesting. And I don't disagree with those numbers. I definitely see those to be really to be pretty accurate for the most part. But if it doesn't, then it doesn't, obviously. But this article pretty much says it's mostly on platforms, so it just kind of indicates. It tells you about all the the ones that they'd be utilizing. I think on this one pretty much kind of sums it out as well. Like Ethereum, the platforms, Polygon, Cardano, Flow, Solana, and there's others as well, but it's kind of like the top ones right now. And then the models on how to actually earn and how they're utilizing the blockchain technology, free to play, pay to play, and then play to earn, stuff like that. And then obviously geographic shows you where all the majority of players are playing from. So pretty interesting, and interesting to see if we're going to actually hit that mark by that time. So if it's earlier, if it's sooner than later, that'd be awesome. But if not, I rather the space to kind of keep growing, and building, and not just rush into things. Because again, when you tend to rush into things, you tend to, mess up a lot. So that's definitely, I'm really interested in seeing if that continues through that. But next article, and last but not least, the last article that we're going to be talking about is crypto regulation uncertainty boosts blockchain gaming in Web3. So there's a couple stuff that I jotted down that I thought was interesting. So it says a new quarterly industry report by DApp Radar said that the area of blockchain gaming is the most overwhelming component of the Web3 world, nearly undaunted by progressing market turbulence. Out of all of the DApp marketplaces, blockchain games controlled a 37% divide between April and June this year. So that's pretty interesting to seeing where that goes. So DApp Radar also said that the predominance of blockchain gaming on the general speaking Web3 area was 45% among January and walk this year. I don't know what that means. And walk this year, and kept that's interesting, and kept just a slight slip in the second quarter during this year. So it dipped a little bit, but it's not dramatic. So that's a good thing. That's a good sign that things tend to fall when there's not much activity going on, especially now, right? There's not much going on right now. That's why I was saying earlier in the beginning of the video. There's not much going on. So obviously there's going to be a decrease, in people playing it. So, and then DApp Radar notes in this new report that information proposes a unique industry adjusting and answering new difficulties and potentially opening doors in the blockchain space. In quarter 2, 2023, day-to-day extraordinary dynamic wallets, DUAW, drawing in with dApps on chain saw a 7.97% increase in the past quarter. The rise could be taken as a positive sign that the market is getting bigger. The expansion of the sorry, my alarm's going off because I have to go to work soon. Anyway, the expansion of the DUAW signals proceed with client commitment and reception of dApps. The gaming area holds its strength. So again, it's really exciting to see what is going to be happening in the space because again, even though there hasn't been a lot of stuff that's happening, it's creating a lot of businesses as well. And, yeah, we do see Sega, drawing back and stuff like that. And there's maybe some other companies that may not just be interested in, maybe they dip their toes in. They're kind of skeptical about what's going to happen. But, honestly, it's kind of just based on how the company's going to actually do it, right? There's going to be companies out there that are actually going to be doing pretty well. Like, for instance, I'm not saying this game is a blockchain game, but it does have some blockchain integrations with NFTs. Dead Drop from Dr. Disrespect is another prime example of a game that is way more focused on the gameplay than the NFTs aspect. Because for me, I have the NFT. I bought it during the early access of it. So, I got access into getting my own character or the visor and everything like that, the background drop and everything like that. So I can sell it, at a better price. I can actually sell it now and actually make 3 times the amount that I paid for. So again, it just shows you that I invested into something early on, and if the project gets bigger, then obviously the valuation of what I have is going to go up as well. So it's going to be awesome to see that and to see how that game grows. But hope you guys have a great day. Thank you all so much for watching, and hope we can stay united as one, rise up to every challenge, be ourselves, and follow our dreams, because I know you can do it. I love you all. I just pulled that out of my ear. God, that hurt.